membuat diriku akan selalu memujamu. Di setiap langkahku, ku kan selalu memikirkan dirimu. Tak bisa ku bayangkan hidupku tanpa cintamu. Janganlah kau tinggalkan diriku, takkan mampu menghadapi semua. Hanya bersamamu ku akan bisa. Kau adalah darahku, kau adalah jantungku, kau adalah hidupku, lengkapi diriku. Oh sayangku kau begitu, sayangku kau begitu sempurna, sempurna.
Hey, my goodness.
What a beautiful performance we
Good
just had. Joining us this morning,
morning.
our very
Good
special
morning.
guest,
Giadi.
Gianti.
Hello, good morning.
Of course, she is the dance artist and artistic director of Giadi Art of Dance. And
Yes.
she's a person who's always trying to make an impact through her performing arts. Welcome.
Yes, and actually we've already have a lot of your, for Giadi Art of Dance coming to right
Correct.
here to our C Morning Show.
Yeah.
Finally we meet with the owner and founder
The head
and the
honcho.
hunt. Exactly. And of course we're talking about contemporary dance to boost our confidence, because even today many struggle with poor self-esteem, and that is why to make them happy and then find the medium through dance to convey their feelings and to boost their self-confidence. Maybe that we all can one day dance just like you, but Gianti and what you showed right there. So we're gonna ask your insights regarding this contemporary dance.
Yeah.
So do you, let's say if I want to be dancing contemporary dance just like you right now, can I do it without any dance background?
Of course.
Of course, I love that answer. Am I confident enough? Well, okay, I'm gonna wait for that one.
So, what is the difference between contemporary dance and modern dance?
Okay, so maybe I'm gonna go into a little bit more historical here.
Yes.
Okay, so for modern dance, it actually came up because of people. Actually, the name of is Duncan, if you haven't heard of her.
Okay.
She's trying to really just breaking away from the rigid technique of ballet.
All
So
right.
she's like, okay, I'm done dancing on point shoes, so I want to dance barefooted, and I'm done dancing in tutus, so I want to just like, using like flow, costume, and just like dance, move, and inspired by nature, and the sound of the wind.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically that was how modern dance came up about.
Okay.
And then after that, there's a lot of people that became a pioneer of modern dance, like Martha Graham. And then for those people, they're finding who they are and expressing themselves through movements. So that
Right.
is modern dance. But contemporary dance is what has already been evolved since the modern dance era, but also the meaning of contemporary is current and like now.
Right.
Okay.
So whatever that we are doing right now, for example, like this sitting
Yes.
and like we're talking, it's contemporary dance. Yeah. So it's a self-expression, it's very free, and like there's no rules.
Okay, and that's the word that popped to my mind when you were describing it, is that you have the freedom and versatility to
Yes.
to be creative and show your creative side and
Yes.
not have any kind of limitations or borders.
Right.
Exactly.
And so how would this, would you say, to boost one's self-confidence?
Okay, I've seen it in many students. For them who came into my studio and just like very shy, very quiet.
Right.
And then after they experience contemporary dance and they feel different because we actually allow them to connect like their thoughts, their mind, and their body. So they become more aware.
Yes.
And in contemporary dance, there's a lot of discussion. There's a lot of like, okay, how do you feel today? Okay, whatever that you're feeling today, let's just, express it through movements.
Right.
Yeah. So it gives them a platform to actually just be who they are.
Right.
And slowly, bit by bit, they feel comfortable with who they are. So
it's like another output, it seems, because especially I love ballet and I love ballet performance. I wish I'm a ballerina, but yeah, okay, too late, mom, thank you. But seeing contemporary dance felt so genuine. It's very original. It's very organic towards the dancer and the story or the feeling that she or he wants to convey.
Yeah.
So why has it felt like that? Even me, as someone that's at the audience or watching that, I could feel through their emotion. Is that supposed to be how it is?
Yeah. Okay. In contemporary dance, it's quite different compared to like other dance genre. Like when we come into rehearsal, for example, hip hop, there's a certain technique or like character that we have to convey. Oh, you have to be cool, swag, But in contemporary, like usually how I started my rehearsal, it will be like, okay, let's write a journal. Just write a short story about your day, like for example. So it allowed them to also express, and from there, from the words, from the story, then we create movements from based on that story.
Okay.
Yeah, so then it makes them feel like their story matters.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's the difference between contemporary dance and the other dance genres.
Okay, I have a daughter that I put in dance, I think when she was like 3 or 4.
Okay.
We
You're
go
a good
to the same
daddy.
classes.
Yeah.
But I remember in the very beginning, she was just holding onto her shirt, the bottom of her shirt. Everyone else was dancing, and I remember she's like, she's not dancing. I wonder why. I would ask her mom, like, why is she? She's like, just leave her. She's just shy.
Yeah.
And it took a few classes of her just not doing anything. And then my wife said, don't give up. Just keep on bringing her. She'll come out of her shell. And it seems to be what you're describing. A lot of students come in and they're feeling shy and they don't want to take part yet. For my daughter, it was the music. That when it finally played a song that she knew, she kind of wanted to get into it a little bit, and she started moving. And then from then on, the rest is history. But what do you find is the best technique to get through to the really shy students? What is it that you deploy to these students in order to get them to kind of come out of their shell bit by bit, and then eventually, once they enjoy doing it or they're passionate about it, you don't really have to encourage them much more, right?
Yes, yeah, I think music is definitely one, but in contemporary dance, we often dance without music.
Correct.
So
Okay.
that is why it is kind of like challenging also. But I feel because of there's that conversations happening in the beginning, so it builds the trust between the teacher and the student. So at least they feel comfortable and they feel like, okay, I'm okay being here, I'm okay to express myself.
So even
And-
before they do any of the dancing at all, they have to build a rapport.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I think that is the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, and in Gigi Art of Dance, because we have a lot of students, and it's also the teachers coming in here to perform for us. That your studio is not only having dance classes, whether it be hip hop and ballet or whatnot, modern dance. But I remember one significant one was our Friends of Down Syndrome, who was giving a performance here.
Yeah.
And then you have a class for that too. So it's not more only for dancing, but also more than that, a lot of factors of giving empathy and then giving understanding and trust within each other and whatnot. Through the contemporary dance, I feel, especially you were saying before in our room before, you said it is open for any age, right? There's no age limit on this. It seems nowadays, I think kids are more prone to, they like to label themselves like, I have a mental breakdown. I have everything is more mental, as opposed maybe when we're kids, we never said that. We're like, Mom, I'm stressed, Mom, I'm sad, Mom, I'm happy. But we don't label as, I have mental issues and whatnot. So this could be a platform also for them, kind of like a way for them to let out and let out the steam, whatever they have, the negativity in them, the sadness, whatever that they have inside them. And this could be a good way, as a positive way for them to kind of let out and let loose.
Yes, definitely, because that is why I feel the inclusivity of the dance is very important, because when we talk about our Down syndrome dancers, this is their 10th year with us actually. So we have been seeing how they become more open, socially expressive, and because some of them actually have limitations in talking, so they are able to express it through movements. So they are not feeling frustrated anymore because they are not able to say things they want to say. So it's the same with everyone. I mean, not only the special needs this platform, but for kids, sometimes they have limitation in conversing with their parents as well. So once they come into our studio, we want to give them that, okay, you are allowed to just say anything you want, anything, how you feel, you know. So even though, of course, in the beginning it's really hard to bring that out of them, but slowly, because we use fun games as well. Like for example, you know, like it doesn't have to be all serious and sad, and you know, but we also are allowed to express, you know, like happiness or like even confusion, like every single spectrum of like the emotions. So I think they feel, okay, so this is what I do when I feel sad, apparently, you know. So okay, how do you express it? You know, even like sadness have different levels. Like, okay, how do you just be quiet and say nothing, or do you like, you know, like do you like scream and like cry? You know, so I think the discussion is really important for them to recognize themselves. There's a lot of self-discovery in contemporary dance.
Self-discovery, I love that word. Yeah.
Speaking of limitations, Caroline mentioned age. I do know, we all know that the younger you put a child in something, the more likely they're able to adapt or excel. However, as kids get older, it might be more difficult, especially when it comes to something like dance, where if they see younger ones performing better than them or being more skillful, they're likely to pull away a little bit more. So what age groups is this ideal for, and how do you deal with the older kids that come in and are still newbies or considered newbies, and how do you kind of approach them in order to integrate them into part of the group?
Okay, so I have a 2-year-old daughter right now, and even for her, she joins our classes already, but I'm involving her into a more improvisation-based classes. So not really like technique classes, but because it's very relatable. The ideas are very accessible for everyone. Like for example, okay, let's explore on the idea of drinking. How do you drink? Like, okay, like take and then hop. Let's do it a couple of times, you know, like fast, you know, like just like play it around with the tempo. So at least for them, it's very relatable. So they understand, you know, it's not really a new language.
Right,
exactly, yeah. So for them, okay, I know this, you know, so they can feel comfortable right away. And then for those teenagers are usually feel like it's at the age of when they feel very insecure about themselves.
I gotta be cool.
Yes, I have like a certain image to hold, you know. So, but I think from the beginning, we always ask them to be respectful with each other and also very supportive to each other. So every time there's one person, you know, like do something, we have to kind of like, okay, you good, you know, do a good job. So like, I think the culture is very important as well for them to feel comfortable and inclusive, and, you know, like included. Sorry, yes.
Oh, okay.
And you're building your studio out of trust also, it seems, because children, like you were saying, tends to have that moments of silence first for a couple of times.
They put their guard up.
Yeah, they have their walls up and whatnot until they already felt like they're safe and they're accepted.
I want to add on, because we also have classes for moms, and we often like invite their grandma, grandpa, father to like come in to dance with us. So we just want to show that, you know, you don't have to be young like to dance, because dance in our daily life we are dancing, like we are dancing right now, you know. So just, I think the term dance is very scary for many people, so let's just take it as a movement, you know, a series of movements.
Indeed, yes. And of course Magenda knows about this because your Art of Dance, or your studio, has been for 13 years now?
Yes.
So how does it feel though? It seems, because you know you're there throughout time and past a decade and whatnot. Maybe if we can know about a little bit of your background. So you were a professional dancer before, or?
Yeah, so I started dancing when I was 4. So my mother and my grandmother was also a traditional dancer. So I started from a traditional dance background, and then I never stopped dance since. But then I received a scholarship to Singapore, and then from there I also received another scholarship to the US. So it really opens up my perspective about dance. Like, because I feel it was really limited before. I thought dance, it was just like that, you know. So but then, like, oh my God, it actually, you know, it allows us to really just making a lot of positive impacts to other people. So I just want to showcase that dance is not just that, you know, that you see in a box, like, you know, technical, and then, you know, there's a lot of discipline. Of course, there's a lot of discipline, but there's also a lot of you know, space to express, to just feel, to connect, and like just the self-discovery is really important.
What are some of the guidelines that you would have for somebody who is just trying contemporary dance in order for them to better connect with themselves? You did say a couple of times that this is about being self-aware and being connected with yourself. What are some of the tips or advice that you have for people that are trying it out that perhaps don't know where to go, and perhaps some guidelines for them to follow?
Okay, I think it's very important for us to be open and vulnerable, but also be very honest. Like, because sometimes like we have to, put up this mask, we have to be a certain image, but then when you move and when we dance, it's really important to be honest. So I actually wanted to try something with you.
Okay. You gotta be honest.
I gotta be honest.
Looking nervous there, Caroline. This one's catching us off guard.
Let's just try a little bit, okay? Like for example, like there's this task is to write down your name with different body parts. Like for example, my name is Gigi, G-I-G-I. So the first one, I'm just going to use my shoulder, and then my fingers, and then I want to just use here, and then my in.
Wow.
So it's
good thing my name's not Caroline. That's a pretty long name.
Just take the short one, Carol. Yeah.
Good thing my name's Paul.
You can just use your finger. You can use it, Yeah. Just explore, okay? Let's try
Go ahead, let's try this exercise. This sounds like fun.
You go first, Paul.
Okay.
All right, it's a form of meditation for me. If it's for Becky, it's a form of meditation for me too.
Try together.
Okay,
ready?
so in any parts of the body,
Anything is
right?
possible, yes. You can change, you can keep to one body part, you can keep changing it, just have fun.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay.
My name is shorter.
Okay, ready?
Wait, so P-A-U-L. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I threw a leg in there.
Yay! Oh my God! That's amazing!
All right.
That's so good though.
Yes,
Can't wait for Caroline. I want that with the full E at the end.
I'm gonna do a YMCA, baby. Don't worry. All right. So I'm gonna do. I do have a nail, don't I?
See?
Okay.
Knock down that wall. Let your guard down.
Okay. Let's start. So C
Yes.
and A
Yes.
and R
Yeah.
and O
Yeah.
and an L.
Yeah.
Oh, very smooth. Very smooth. I like that. Using both.
Because I was gonna use our
appendages.
leg. But I saw that. Okay,
I was going to request a surahma to be thrown in there as well. So thank you so much for dropping
Yes,
by.
thank
We
you.
do appreciate, obviously, the amazing performance
Yes.
that you have for us. And please do join us anytime. We love having you or any of your students in the studio.
Thank you
Yes,
so much
thank
for
you so
having
much for
me.
being here. Finally meeting you in
Yes.
person. Oh, it's such an honor.
Definitely brightening up our weekend and hopefully yours as well. We've got to take another short break here on the program, but when we return, in case you're just joining us, don't worry, we're going to recap some of our earlier stories just for you.
All right, do the kick again, P. Yeah.
That's an L. Oh, you're locked up there a little bit. No stretching, guys.